Jay. Tell you what, man, I'm pretty damn excited about the lineup we have today for our dudes like us. It's August 23rd. Holy sugar water! I forgot to say happy birthday to Grandpa Sean's dad.
Ah.
Or to my wife.
My dad's. No, I just texted her.
Oh, okay. Paul?
You're saying it's yeah.
It's my poppy's 80th birthday, by the
Today?
way. Yeah, today.
We better text him real quick.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll do that.
This is your grandfather?
No, it's my dad. My
I
dad
was going
is
to say,
80.
wow, you still have a
he's only
grandfather
80?
who's
Well, I
alive?
saw a picture on the old farts on the TV with Joe Biden. I was like, hey, I got to text my dad.
You're like, the guy looks like my dad.
He's going to hear this and shoot me. No, actually, I was pretty excited about the lineup of bourbons we have.
Two good ones.
Oh, yeah.
I get a text message from Total Wine liquor rep, totally breaking the rules. He was like, "It's somebody from Total Wine."
Right,
And,
yeah. We won't name names.
He texts me. No, but you know, I'm just. I get the text. I'm kind of like, "Hey, we got some Wellers." And I was like, "Hey,
he said
OWU."
OAW, and you're like, what is that? Do we have that? You were calling us. I think you FaceTimed us or something.
Yeah, well, you know
Oh,
what?
yeah, you did. And he picked up the bat phone on that one.
Yeah, I was like, we need some immediate attention on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was like, I didn't even say yes or no to him. I just said, on my way.
This was a really nice find. This is a hard bottle to find here. I think for the most part, most places.
Yeah. No, I've never even heard of it. So,
Yeah.
Well, we have the one that's easiest to find. We have the green, the Weller Special Reserve. I think the green label with the yellow print on it.
yeah, this one's the red label.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the old antique Weller 107.
107. So I text out a few friends. I have I have a text, a group text with a couple of our cousins, my wife's cousins, just some, and I sent a picture of the Wellers out, the 107, and Sam. I won't say his last name. Sam P is his last name.
Penis?
He runs. He's got an appreciation for bourbon and cigars. So he hosts down at the McKinney Square at a cigar shop. I forget the name. In Fuego.
That's the butterscotch.
One day out of the month, I think maybe Sunday or something like that, where they have a bunch of bourbon connoisseurs come up and they bring a bottle and they all share it and do some samples. And so there's like 30, 40 people that show up for this thing. And they get in a raffle and someone wins a unicorn bourbon. Anyways, we're excited about the Wellers, and I take a picture and send it to him. And he's like,
I got 3 of these.
he sends a picture back. His is like half full, and I'm just like,
Oh, he's got a bottle of it. He sent a
Yeah.
picture back. Oh,
I mean,
wow.
whatever, that's fine. But at the same time, I'm like, bitch, please, you sucky, fracky, pocky. But we need to go to one of his bourbon tasting and have dudes like us presents there.
One of his. What are you saying?
Well,
His?
what I'm saying
He
is
owns like
that-
a restaurant or something, or
No, what he's created. I'm not gonna look it up right now. He's created a Facebook group for
okay.
cigar and bourbon connoisseurs. Now, I won't be spending time inside the place because I don't smoke cigars anymore because it just tears my stomach up, and plus I just don't like the smell.
yeah,
It's something
Right.
that I'm not into.
I can tolerate it for like maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah.
As you're walking by the place, you're like,
Yeah, it's just-
Cool. That's like, well, that's not a bad smell. And then like
It's
10
just not
seconds
for
later,
me.
you're like,
and,
no, I'm done.
there's some guys out there. They whip out a pipe, and you kind of like, I like the way that.
I like
pipe
the pipes.
smells,
I
you know?
like pipe smoke.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of these cigars are the same thing. You've got some cigar smells that are similar to pipes. You know, they're just.
like Swisher Sweets.
No, I would not say Swisher Sweets. Swisher Sweets are known for slicing open and replacing the tobacco with marijuana. That's what they
Ooh.
use a blunt for.
Yeah, no, we won't be doing that either.
Yeah, that wasn't in my town where I grew up.
Well,
So-
I grew up on a border town, so.
So just the other day, I was thinking about that. Shelley was saying something about somebody was smoking a cigar outside of like where we were staying, and she was like, just going off on the cigar smoke. And I was thinking to myself, it just made me think, I've never smoked a pipe, right? like what my grandfather, those
Right.
big
Like Sherlock
wood.
Holmes.
Yeah. He had a
Pipe.
big. Well, I mean, it wasn't that extreme, but as a kid, he would have a pipe and he would
It
blow.
doubles as a bourbon zarf.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But he would, blow the smoke rings and he would blow, smoke out of his nose. And we all
Right.
giggled as kids because he was like the dragon,
Right.
Anyway, I just loved the smell of the smoke. So if we literally had a night where we, smoked pipe tobacco, would we be like,
You probably wouldn't feel good.
I was going to say, would we feel sick? I mean, would we would we even taste
being
what we smell?
I
Does
don't
that make
think
sense?
I want to include that in our post-50s hobbies. That is a
Yes.
topic.
I
we'll
was
probably
thinking
be talking
a
about. No.
one and done, but I'm not going to do that if I'm going to, like you said, if I'm going to feel like shit, if
No.
I'm going to, and it's nothing
Well,
like
have you ever smoked a cigarette?
one.
How'd
Yeah.
you feel?
It was okay. It was okay.
Yeah.
I'm out.
It was no
Yeah.
big deal.
I'm out.
Well, of course, I've smoked some cigars before, and it gives you ass mouth for one thing. And the one time that I felt really bad was when I did a Skull Bandit, and that thing just wrecked me.
Right.
And I had to lay down. I was like, I feel like shit.
So, but is pipe smoke different?
Oh, I don't know. I've never done a pipe. I don't know.
Well, here's the deal.
Right, because you
Tobacco-
take the raw tobacco and you kind of stuff it in the little
Yeah,
pipe,
but tobacco is tobacco. I mean,
right? Is
you're
it okay? Yeah,
You're either
I don't know.
smoking it in a bong or you're smoking it in a
Right.
in a paper wrapped
Right.
vessel. Either way, it's the same thing. You're smoking tobacco.
So, what makes the pipe smoke so inviting?
Well, I mean, they have different flavor tobaccos, and sometimes they infuse the tobacco with certain things. I mean, some
Formaldehyde.
tobaccos are
Nice.
made so that you don't necessarily you inhale very little bit, but you take a big inhalation into your mouth, so you pull it into your mouth
Mm-hmm.
and you inhale very little of it, but then you just blow it out. So you get the aroma of it, and you get a little inhalation. What's his name? The old dude that played God. Bing.
Morgan Freeman.
Do you remember the one that was from the 80s?
No, he had big glasses.
Yeah.
With John Denver was in the movie.
What?
Was it Oh God or
It was Oh God.
John
He was-
Denver.
yeah, he was in the movie.
Oh wow.
the movie was Oh God? Well, whatever.
God, what
so
was his name? He was a little old comedian from like the
Oh,
40s.
Huh.
if I could pull it up here.
Yeah, that would have been nice to find out what Oh God, who the actors in Oh God was.
Well, I guess we'll never know.
Yeah,
Cause
Mr.
our
Producer.
producer's falling asleep over there.
Hey, what's going on?
George Burns.
Yeah, George Burns.
Ah, okay, yeah. No, we all recognize him. So,
And he's still asleep.
all right. So what was your point? So, he what?
George Burns did pipes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was
Or cigar.
distracted by the lack of attention still. But yeah, George Burns, he would have a cigar all the time. And he was like, and he was one of his things. He was just like, he never inhales it. He says, I take the cigar, I have it, I always pull the inhalation into his mouth, but doesn't inhale it into his lungs.
I don't think a lot of people inhale cigars, do they?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
actually, there are lots of people that do.
Do they?
I mean, I
No.
don't.
Yeah, the only time I've smoked a cigar and I couldn't finish it because it was making me sick was that's what they all said. Oh, don't inhale, don't inhale.
Yeah, I never inhaled
Austin,
a
can you
cigar.
And
hear
so I
us?
was like, okay, and so I was like,
Okay.
I mean, I was like struggling, trying to figure out, am I inhaling? Am I not inhaling? I mean, I felt stupid, but anyway,
Right.
I was like, oh my God, I feel like shit. I'm going to quit doing this. So yes, it was and also that rot mouth that you were talking
Yeah,
about.
it's just like even the next day you wake up, you just like
Ugh.
the tongue
Oh.
is all
Oh,
Oh,
man.
it was awful.
It would get down into my
Groin?
my
Oh,
my
wow.
system, my
Well, what were
my
you doing with the cigar? It was just all
intestinal
the way down
system.
there.
It would jack up my stomach, where it just created an incredible amount of acid. It was.
Huh.
Did you inhale though, or were you just in?
I did the same thing. It was very small inhalations,
Right.
but it doesn't matter. You're around it. You're
Yeah.
inhaling the side stream or the second hand, however you want to call it. And
Yeah.
it gets into your lungs, and you walk into a cigar shop, and you got some guys that are pounding down some stogies. The
Right.
whole place is just
blown up.
oh
yeah.
God. I mean, your eyes burn. I mean,
Right.
I remember I walked in there.
I've never been in a cigar shop. I've walked by
I
them.
have not.
I
no.
walked in and visited a friend. I was invited. It was during the Oktoberfest in downtown McKinney. And I walked in there and said hello. I forget. His name was Cody. Cody, who used to work for one of the beer distributors out there. I forget their name.
Franconia.
Yeah, exactly. It was Franconia. And so, anyways, I walk in there and say, "Hey, what's going on?" And we're talking. And I'm just like, God. And then I was maybe
He's like,
in
can
there
we
for
take this outside?
30 seconds longer, and I was like, I gotta go. I
Right.
can't handle it. My eyes were burning. It felt like I smoked a pack of cigarettes while I was in there for 1 minute.
Was it
Right.
just a haze?
Oh, it was.
So, and
I
also,
had cancer by the time I walked out.
if you're not used to tobacco, it will. I mean, like you said, you when you did dip, right?
Yeah.
It'll
That was
like
the one time I only did it, and I was like, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
that can make you sick. So, I mean, what is that? It's like a buzz. It gives you a buzz, or it's too much, and
Well,
it's like
so
you
it
get
made me very lightheaded, made me nauseous,
Yeah.
give you the spins.
and that's
Give me
totally
the
if you're
squirts too. If you swallow the, some people
gross.
you got to spit the spit out.
yeah, you don't swallow that.
You're not supposed to swallow the spit, and
Okay.
jeez.
That is a nasty habit. Carrying around a big bottle
Yeah.
of
so
phlegm.
gross.
Oh, I mean, it's just.
They're just leaving it somewhere and it spills.
Well, that was one of the worst things I had to deal with when I was working at that movie theater. I was picking up cups as fast as possible.
It's
and then
disgusting.
boom, and then I plunged 2 fingers into a dip cup, one of those courtesy little
Oh,
cups,
yeah.
and I was just like, oh, gee.
Man, you know what?
Thing
I
ever.
remember back at the time when I tried my Skull Bandits for the first time, and we went to the movies. And I'll tell you what I remember from going to the movies in the '80s the most as a kid was I would go by because this was the Post Exchange in Fort Monmouth, New Jersey, when it was a fort. We'd go to the Post Exchange, and you could buy like a pound of lead
Bullets?
anchors for fishing. And they were the little balls.
Oh yeah.
And they had a little they were like little ball bearings, but they had a little slit
Right.
in them. You
Oh, yeah,
pinch them
they're-
around.
Yeah,
everything.
they're
But you could buy like a
Inline
whole
weights.
Slip
bag.
sinker. They're sinkers.
Yeah. So we would sit at the top of the movie theater, and
Let them loose.
we'd let a couple loose, and they would roll down. They're so loud,
Oh,
ding,
yeah.
ding, 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 and they hit a chair leg and bounce, and you can hear them, ding, 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 ding,
What?
ding.
Would you like dump a whole box out?
Well, I mean, I was just
Good
trying
Lord.
to. Well, I mean, the bag came in like a bag of 1,000. I don't know. It was a lot. I don't remember how
Oh,
much
so
it
you
was.
So
literally-
you did all of them or just a few?
Well,
Holy shit.
I mean, we have done all of them before. This is something that happened more than one occurrence. You got to imagine. We went to Sunday or Saturday matinee frequently, like every Saturday, because it was like it's like 25 cents.
Right.
right.
Come on, 25 cents. So we went down there. Anyways, it was 5 cents for the little bag of lead. So it was funny for me at the time. That's what I remember. But the Skull Bandits brings me back that memory of.
But as an
of going down
adult,
there.
you'd be like, those fucking kids.
Oh my God! Because
yeah.
you know how long it takes for that lead marble from the top of the all the way down to the bottom, and you've got like this is a big auditorium. I mean, this is designed for ceremonies and things, so it wasn't like the small movie theater. This one had probably 1,000 seats. I don't know, maybe 1,000, but it was a lot.
So it made a lot of noise.
Dude, it took like a minute for it to get down, and people really interested in the movie. I wait for a really slow part too.
Great.
And people like ding, 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 and
Would they turn around and like
those fucking
eyeball
kids.
you?
Oh, they know it's us too. They'd be like, you,
Yeah.
right there with the fucking spit down your front of the chin because you don't know how to do a Skull Bandit correctly.
Yep. And you're the same kid that on the elevator pushes every single button and then gets off.
No, I never did
No,
that.
I never did that one. I've been the victim of that before.
That's not true. I've done it once, and I wasn't a kid. I did it when I was a full-grown adult.
I bet you did.
And then
When we were-
and then someone got you was like, some kid, just stupid kid. I'm stuck.
Have you ever been in those
Yeah.
hotels where all you have to do is there's no button to push, you just brush it?
Right.
And so we were in Singapore, and the Mandarin Hotel, it's got like 40 floors, and you just go, just run your finger down the whole thing, and then you get off. I didn't do it too many times, maybe a couple hundred.
Nice.
Yeah.
That movie with George Byrne, oh God, that was funny.
What
I
year?
don't
What year did that
remember.
come
was
out?
like late
It was,
70s.
I don't think I ever saw it.
Maybe-
77.
Yeah. There's a No God Part 2 as well.
I've heard the names, but I just have never seen them.
Yeah.
George Byrne was funny.
I saw one of them in the theater. That's one I think we saw in the theater. The first one, I think. I don't know if we saw the second one.
Going back to the chaw, you were talking about this skull. That was one of the things that the cool kids in high school, they'd walk around with that in their back of their
The little-
jeans.
So you could see it's that
Yeah.
outline. It's been there for so long.
Oh yeah. And now I don't know. So I
Yeah,
went
from
to
that perspective, I was not cool.
well,
never
I
did
went
that
to
shit.
a school, a Sci-Fair high school in Houston, where there was a lot of ag, right? A lot of cowboy kids, right?
Agriculture.
Ag kids, right?
This
And-
is for our listeners in Ireland.
Right.
Roy.
That's
Uh,
Australia.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that was,
Roy.
that was bad. Anyway, so yeah, those were they all walked around with their big belt buckles and their cowboy boots and their
They're
and
belt
their
buckles and cowboy boots,
and their
right? Those for our Irish listeners.
right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Is that
No.
right?
Anyway, but I'm trying to think what. Yeah, that was. Those were I guess the
We
cool
had
kids at
them.
my high school.
I don't know if we necessarily had the cool kids. We had they were just like anyone else, but for some reason they didn't have anything different or anything like that. They just, for whatever reason, hung out, and they were the cool kids for whatever reason. I mean, they went to the parties, and they're the ones who always had the parties, I guess, in high school anyway.
They weren't the jocks.
Some of them were, but I was bigger than all of them.
I mean, I would
Athletically,
imagine
they wanted me to play football, and I was just like, no, I'm not interested. I wish I did now.
I mean, you had just like today. I don't know if it's any different today, but I mean, high school's pretty much always the same. You've got the jocks that hang out, you got the nerds, you got the band kids, you got the whatever kids.
Cliques.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just different cliques.
That's always been that way,
But
right?
my school was so small that we all knew each other, right? But we all had our friends that we hung out with.
How many did you have in your
I had 104 people in my class.
class?
Good
Okay.
Lord.
I had 548 in my class.
I had 400 and something in my whole school.
Actually, I don't even remember how many I had. That's interesting.
Well, what the weird thing was is me and my buddies, we kind of floated. We'd hang out with the cool kids. We'd hang out with the hoods, the guys who smoked the cigarettes on the corner, right?
Oh yeah.
They'd always go to the Iron Maiden concerts and stuff like that, right?
They were the.
We call them the hoods.
Oh, okay.
That's
I don't
what
think we
them.
called them hoods. I'm trying to remember what we called them. They were the. It'll come to me.
Call them rats as well, but
Hoods and rats.
hoods and rats. So me and my buddies, we kind of floated in between. Not that we were either one of them, but for the most part, everyone in the school got along, from what I remember. But you just had your clique of friends that you hung out with.
Yeah.
So,
and that's so important nowadays. You got to have a little group of friends that have your back.
right.
You know what I mean? I mean, especially in this world of social media, and you can be alone so quickly.
Right. Well, what's weird is
and ostracized and all that kind of stuff.
Well, what's probably different from what you guys probably experienced is I went to school with the same kids K through 12.
Yeah, that helps.
So I knew them from the time I was 6 years old.
Your categories have a tendency to broaden a little bit because you've been friends. You can merge into the geek squad.
Well, I think that's why, at least I had my core friends. And then, but I was also, I could hang out over here.
Yeah, because
I could hang over there because back in first grade, those hoods were not hoods at the time, but they were good friends of mine. I was going over to their house all the time. And then in middle school, that you start splitting off a little bit, and even the jocks of the day, right? Second grade, you're not like that,
right?
And as you got older, they just kind of you split naturally.
I know,
right? And that happens, but in my school, in my class, again, we all grew up with each other for 12 years through school. So we all knew each other. And, like I said, for the most part, we all got along. And then there's exceptions to that. But there was no real big conflicts as far as this group against that group.
I guess in a bigger school, you probably have more separation. Although, it's the same kind of thing. Everybody has. That's what was so difficult for me. I came back to the States when I was in 9th grade, right? So all of these kids knew each other since kindergarten.
And you did like kung fu on them?
And I did not do kung fu on them.
Oh, yeah. You were like, hey, my name's Paul Mickey. I'm from where? Indonesia.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, Indonesia.
They did not introduce me from Indonesia.
Oh, look at Paul. He's from Indonesia.
You go, no more bangy my wangy?
What
is that what Lung Duck Dong said?
Is that Indonesian? Yeah.
I don't know. Was it?
No, I don't think so.
No more Yankee me
my
wanky.
wanky. That's right.
It was not. It was
probably a big adjustment for you. I would think.
It sucked. High school sucked for me. I ended up
for a while.
I ended up having like 2 friends.
You know what though?
Right.
I mean,
it was absolutely horrible.
Really? That sucks.
Yeah, as a freshman, I remember telling. I think I just told myself this. I was like, well, just just wait till you get to college. College will be better. As a freshman in high school, that's exactly what I said. College will be better.
By the time you were a senior, I'm sure
2 friends.
Really?
Kid you not.
Oh.
It was bad.
Well,
I didn't have that experience. I was similarly. I traveled as a military brat,
Right.
and I think we ended up ultimately in El Paso, and there. So in our high school, being a military brat, you have a clique of military dependents
Right.
that are also going to the school. So in addition to the jocks, the chess club, the math club, the cheerleaders, the whatever, you got all these different people, a variety of people that are coming that gather in cliques,
Right.
and you have the military soldier clique. Now the dependents from the base, which is kind of cool from the perspective that we would go and we would also be included in the other category. So I am also hanging out with the jocks. I'm also hanging out with these other groups. But when it comes time for lunch or something, we're all meeting the quadrangle in the morning, the quad in the morning, or in the lunchtime. I remember I used to go out there. One of my biggest things, I go out there and I'd be like, howdy, really loud when I walked out there. It was just like one of those things that I look in retrospect, but that was fucking retarded. But you know what? Everyone's like, oh, there's Sean. Hey, Sean, how you going? And so I was hanging out with all of them. I was hanging out with the cheerleaders, the whatever different categories. And then after a little section of lunch was over, we says, hey, later, I'm going to go hang out with my guys and go around the corner and go smoke a cigarette.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You were allowed to do that?
No.
Oh.
No. In fact, I don't even recall smoking a cigarette. I think I would just go with them while my friends smoked a cigarette.
Yeah.
And I would like hold the cigarette for a second and maybe take a puff or something or pretend I was taking it, but I never really did.
then you choke.
Oh, man.
You know,
Even back then, I wasn't really into
We
it.
had an outdoor smoking area.
We did not.
Wow.
And you had to get explicit permission from like your parents to be able to smoke.
Oh, wow.
That's
quite
interesting.
Yeah,
expensive
I'm
down
just
there.
now remembering that. It
Down
was
in Houston.
bizarre.
They serve beverages
No,
there?
the kids had to get
Oh,
off
Jack
of.
and Coke, please.
In my
Yeah, my parents said it's okay.
at our high school, there was a house right as the entrance, and you had to be off school property. So they all hung out in this guy's yard right on the corner,
Oh boy.
right outside the parking lot.
Dude, I would be selling cigarettes.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'd be like,
To
hey,
minors?
I don't care.
Well, the police do.
Wow.
So they're basically just flicking cigarettes all over this dude's yard.
The little
I
vending
guess.
machine.
Yeah, probably.
I'd have been pissed.
Yeah, I would have come out there and says, I don't give a shit if you stand here. Don't leave trash.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
is what I'd do.
Oh,
Or I'd say, why don't you put a
I
little
think I would
can
turn
out
on
there.
those sprinklers.
There you go. That's a good idea.
We
Let's
didn't have
turn 'em on.
sprinklers
Put up
back
like
then.
an electrified fence.
You have a
And-
garden hose.
Well, yeah, you'd be that guy in the black socks, the shorts, going out there with your hose, chasing the kids off.
Or get like 2 Dobermans and put them on a chain just long enough to be like
What, hang 'em?
halfway over the sidewalk. So if they're on the sidewalk, they get bit.
So they
Yeah.
had to be on school property. Then they'd get in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking you would get in trouble.
Then they'd go to the other side.
Yeah, you probably would get in trouble. Did you guys ever ditch campus? Like we weren't allowed to leave
No.
campus at lunch.
No, one day it was, we never had a snow day. As much snow as we got up there, they never called a fucking snow day. And it pissed me off my entire high school career. And there was one day that it was heavy snow, and it may have been delayed like an hour. And I was just like, this has never happened before. So we were just like, let's go.
Right.
And
Just
we
took off.
And we just took off. But that was just the one time. And we
When I
were,
was
we
a
were nervous
senior-
as shit
Oh, I know.
because you'd go somewhere at like 11 and you're just like, well, they know I'm supposed to be in school, right?
Right. Because you're missing like the first
Ditching-
period after lunch or
Ditching
whatever.
schools it was very addictive to me.
What was?
I never ditched school. I never skipped school. Whatever you want to
Oh,
call it. People,
okay.
people call it ditching. I'm a ditching. What the hell is that?
Playing
I called it-
hooky.
Yeah, playing hooky.
Yeah, I never did it.
all
Outside
of
that
them.
one time, I never did it.
So it's very addicting for me because it was just like once I started not going to class, it's just like I didn't want to go to class.
Right. Like ever.
And it's because I didn't want to get in trouble and face the teacher.
Right.
And so it got to the point where it just it manifested into something that got out of
Unhealthy.
control.
Right.
And anyways, that
So I had the one friend I had in my senior year because the other friend got out early because he worked.
Right.
What do you call that?
Early release.
Yeah, I don't know, something like that. Anyway,
jail.
so the other friend and I would go have lunch. We'd leave campus, and you're not allowed to do that, right? So we would get, chased by the security guard that does the parking lot patrol.
Right.
right? So we'd look over there and we'd like see which side of campus he's on, and we would wait until he's on the other side of
And you
campus.
run.
Oh, and then we'd run out to our car and go to lunch. And then we would always be late to the period after lunch, right? And then one time, we had to park on the other side because we have to figure out where he is when we're coming back, right? So we park and we were running past the window of my biology class that I missed, right? And then the next day, she talks to me after class. She's like, I was like, no, I was sick. Or something. Something
That's
happened.
funny. I
That's
saw
why
you
I
running
missed.
past the door.
That's exactly what she said. Yeah, well, we all watched you, the whole class watched you from the window running across the parking lot. So, don't try that. It's not going to work. I was like, oops.
So you didn't do it again?
Well, we were seniors. Right? I mean, she was just like, just come on, just finish the school year,
Hey, man, I keep diving into this antique Weller, and
Good.
I want to come up with a rating system for this because normally I'm just kind of like, it's good, it's bad. This is exceptional.
Yeah, it's really
How about
good.
the nose on it now? Now that it's
That's what I said. It
opened
smells
up.
like
It's exceptional.
butterscotch.
So this is the Weller Antique 107,
Wow.
and it's the red label, and it's 107 proof. And I don't know how old this thing is, but it is a weeded. It's Buffalo Trace, undisclosed mash bill, but it is weeded.
Yeah.
The color's like it's a dark copper color.
Yeah,
and
it's dark.
Surprisingly, it wasn't that much. The website here says it's like $50. I don't recall exactly how much it was.
So
but
you said it was $40 or $42.99 or something.
Was that
like
it was?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
It's good.
it's well
Yeah.
worth it. If you could find it, get it.
I don't think it was that. I think it was 58.
No,
Was it?
no,
Huh.
it was in the 40s.
Well, regardless, man, this is kind of like the other Buffalo Trace one, Rare Breed. No.
No, that's Wild Turkey.
No, not Walter. Rare Breed. What is the other one? You got the Paul had 3 bottles and didn't get a chance to didn't buy it because he.
Oh, Colonel E.H. Taylor.
No, not the. Oh, fuck.
That was E.H. Taylor. That he had 3
I
bottles.
was. I'm talking about the other one, the
Eagle Rare.
Eagle Rare. Yeah, the Rare. I knew there was a Rare in there. Eagle Rare.
Oh, I've never
Eagle
had an
Rare.
opportunity to buy an Eagle Rare. That would have been nice.
We have 2 bottles out there. We've had it.
Oh, well,
We
I've
all
never
loved it.
I don't think I
Another
was
one.
here when I
Yes, you-
tried it.
Yes.
Oh, we had a podcast without him.
Yeah.
Oh,
And we did
we
Eagle
never
Rare.
told him about that podcast.
Yeah, you did.
No, you had it.
Dude, you totally had it. Shut
Oh.
your face.
No, we all
wouldn't
loved
do
it.
a podcast without you.
Mhm.
Austin had
Yeah.
some. He's like, that's his favorite bourbon now.
Yeah, he butt-looged it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, nice.
Wow.
Yeah, let's think about that for a
Now,
second.
so some other 80s stuff that, I think about the 80s for me. I don't know about dudes like us out there that grew up in the 80s or even kind of went from 70s to 80s or from 80s to 90s. There's back then you had like the, they don't have like the iPods. Back then they had like cassette players.
Yeah.
And then they had like a two-sided cassette player, which is extremely rare. Then they started coming out with the CDs. And then the CD player was kind of ridiculous when you would carry it around, the Walkman CD, because it was big.
Big and flat.
Wouldn't even fit in your pocket. You're kind of like, really?
It'd skip.
Yeah, so
it
we-
could, yeah.
Yeah, so I remember the very first Walkmans. The
Oh,
Sony
really?
Walkman. Remember those?
I
Well,
never had
not
one.
the very first one,
Yeah,
but
I never had
remember
the
Walkmans. Yeah.
I think I had a Panasonic.
Those
Oh,
were-
Look at you.
Yeah.
I mean that was
Cincinnati
when that was when we were probably all getting our first taste of electronics that we
thing. You
owned.
talking about the CD
know what I mean?
player or for the cassette tape?
No, just the players, right? I mean, well, I had a little boom box, you
Right.
know.
I remember I
Yeah.
saved up money to buy my first boombox. It was $60, and it took me months and months
To save up
to
for that.
save up for $60.
Yeah, and it played. It obviously had radio and cassette.
That's all it had. It had a
Yeah.
radio, AM, FM, and a shortwave
Oh, I didn't have
radio
that.
on there, and a cassette deck.
And then I had the one. Actually, my brother had the one with 2 cassettes, so you could record.
Oh yeah, mine didn't have that.
Yeah, I had the one cassette because I couldn't afford it, and then he
Oh,
saved
so
up.
you can tape one cassette while playing the other, so you can dub the
Yeah.
cassettes?
Well, yeah, you could
Yeah.
copy one tape to the other quick.
Ah.
I mean, like quick. Like it had a fast record something or other. But
Right.
anyway, I mean that was when we first were getting into buying our own electronics.
Well, that was like I said. That took me a very long time to buy that.
I think of all the different electronics they had that are laughable now today. Like, for
Totally.
example, Well, look at all the little tiny game things, like the NFL game one. The one that cracks me up the most right now is the game called Merlin. It looks like it's a little red telephone looking thing where all it has on it are buttons. That's it. It looks like a telephone, and
It's a game.
it's
a handheld game.
It's a handheld
They
game.
From
still
the
make
80s or
they
for
still
the-
make
today?
handheld games.
They make Simon still, don't they?
Well, I don't know if we can pull it up here. Merlin.
they still
and the
make. They
handheld.
still make Simon.
So it essentially makes it's like 9 games on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's like one of them is a memory one. One
That's
of
like
them is
Simon,
like tic tac toe. One of them, that,
oh yeah, I remember that.
it was such. I mean, that is what they had back then. And it's like if kids were to
okay.
get that nowadays, they'd be like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Really?
Yeah, I never had that.
Well, you remember the games that had the just 2 buttons, and it would be like, the little graphics going across the thing, but like mine was Trojan horse, so there'd be little soldiers going into the castle, and you had to drop the drawbridge for the good guys and lift the drawbridge
Right.
for the bad guys, right? And so it would go faster and faster and faster and faster,
Right,
right? Those little stupid games,
right.
and then we had like Nintendo Donkey Kong.
I never had that. I had the old football.
There you go. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Those things right there.
It was right there. Yeah, I had the football. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It was the basketball. But my buddies had. I had the basketball
Game
one.
and watch. That's
My
those
buddy
things are
had
crazy.
the football one, and we'd swap out. And of course, the basketball. You get so good at it, you score. every single time.
Every
Yeah.
single time.
You know,
Yes.
you get because it's just a pattern.
I have the football one. I still have it. The football one.
Does it work?
It does.
If your kids played it,
Nah, I don't think so.
you should pull it out and say, "Here, this is
They'd
what."
be like, seriously.
this is what.
I have the Donkey Kong game too. The orange one right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've played the Donkey Kong one.
That was good
But
stuff.
it's it's not even. It's like they're images that are always in the same place.
That's
Yeah.
correct. And they just light up.
Yeah, they
At
just
the right
light up.
time.
Right.
It's, yeah.
You know what that Merlin game? You can they had a game similar to what Simon is, where you follow a sequence of numbers. Boop
Right.
boop boop boop. You know
Right,
whatever.
right.
Right.
Well, and you could set it because it was like you select the game and then you select, all right, well, how many tones do you want? You select from, I don't remember how the range was. I would pick like 1. So I was a strange kid. Needless
Well, we
to
know
say.
that.
And I used to get into like some ESP kind of stuff where I would like to.
ESP.
Well, I would like to guess the card, the symbol on the
look-
card. No, I would play
Kinda
with like my.
kinda like
I play with
Ghostbusters?
my sister and I play with my mom, and we'd take
Venkman?
turns guessing. My mom was like freakishly good at it. She would always guess it, and I would pick the Merlin game to 1 digit, right? And
Right.
so what you do is you would hit the button and it would go boop, and then you have to guess. Well, it's easy when it does 1. But I wouldn't hit the button where it recalls it. I would just guess it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I remember the first time I guessed it without listening to it, and I thought it scared the shit out of me.
You thought you were some sort of
I thought I opened up a
it's-
portal or
It's
something.
it's like the Ouija board.
Ouija game.
Yeah, the Ouija. Yeah, it
Oh
was
my
a game.
God.
They still make those. You can still
Ouija
get those.
board games?
Yeah, the Ouija board games.
What is your
Nice.
dog doing?
Did you guys ever go through a craze where how when the watches came out that were a calculator?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I had one of those.
Yeah,
And the
then
buttons were
then
so
beca-
small.
it was so retarded. Like whoever would use it we would find reasons to let me use my calculator watch to figure out
But I have to get a
it's so
pencil
dumb.
out to hit the things.
Absolutely not practical at
No,
all.
no.
But we looked for reasons for why we could use it for things, right?
Right.
Because
But you know what? You look cool in the 80s wearing it.
if you had one, suddenly it was like, it's no different than today when one kid has the stupid, squeaky toy, some stupid toy that's like the hot toy,
Right.
right? And there you go. Yeah, he's
mine
got him
looked
up on
like
the
that
screen
black
right
one,
now.
That black one right there in the top left. That's what mine looked like.
So
I had that
stupid.
exact- I
The
had that exact
Casio,
one.
yes.
Yeah.
That's what mine looked like.
Oh, they're just so not practical. What's the point? of
don't
having
know.
a calculator on your watch?
I don't know.
It's so stupid.
Well, they had some one of those calculator ones where you can enter like people's names and phone numbers you could store. It wouldn't dial it or anything.
Now,
It
what it
just,
would,
Right,
no,
right,
what it would
right.
be
Archive it.
is it would
There's
be
a Rolodex.
it'd be 58008, and you turn upside down, and it says
Oh,
boobs.
boob. Yes.
You walk around upside down, boobs.
Oh, everybody did that. Hold their stuff upside down. What? There's some other ones too. So stupid.
you do boobies,
Could you do boobies?
boobless.
Oh yeah, you could do boobless. See, that's where the future of America is. When you're holding
That's
your
right.
Well, when
calculator
you
upside
gotta
down.
create your own entertainment by looking outside the box.
Yeah. I remember that, again, before video games, before really technology, my sister would always play jacks.
like jacks with the little red ball,
The little red ball and the jacks.
Yeah.
She'd sit in her room and do it for hours.
and you'd have to pick up. I think that the game is you pick up one, then you pick up two, then you pick up three.
Right.
And
Then you
you
have to
pick
pick
up
up
four.
all of them and catch the ball. She
Why,
could do
why
it.
not just bounce it like 400 feet in the air and then you could pick up the whole thing?
I don't know.
Well, the idea was, well, first of all, you you were in a room.
Yeah, jacks.
Oh
right there.
yeah,
Yeah.
jacks. How simple.
And she would entertain herself for hours with that.
Yeah.
Jacks and pick up sticks and
Yeah.
all kinds of stupid
You know what
shit.
they look
yeah.
like? They look like those little tank things on the beach.
Oh, to keep
The tank busters to keep the boats from
Yeah.
launching.
Yeah, they look like that from that scene in Save It Private Ryan.
Yeah, they do.
Huh.
They don't seem
Interesting.
like they'd work, but I guess they did.
I wonder if the Germans invented jacks.
Big jacks. And then they're like, well, this makes small ones. And then we'll make a game out of it.
Right,
Yeah, maybe not.
right.
Yeah, those
You
are
know-
crazy things. What other 80s stuff?
Well, the 80 really
I mean, what did you wear?
more than anything, it was the music for me. Because that was when we all probably had our first cars, right? So you're driving around, you just bought a stereo and you put it in your car.
I never did that. I just had the stock.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I had a 1976 Mercury Cougar, so I had to get a new radio because
Oh, I had a
It didn't do 1976 anything.
Cougar.
My car was
Like,
only
it had
4 years
no-
older.
Look at me.
Mine was a 1980 Chevy Citation.
okay, but did it have a built-in cassette player?
Cassette?
I had a 1985 Vet,
I don't remember. I think it did have a
Nice.
a
cassette.
Chevette.
See, I had to buy one so I could listen to cassettes.
Yeah, I think it did have a cassette. It was vertical, so it slid
Oh,
in.
that's weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
So it slid in, and you'd have to eject it, and it would come out.
I mean, it's just a strange thing. These our kids will never appreciate. Right here, we are listening to our music, and all of a sudden it goes.
No, Mr. Producer,
And you're
I
like-
did say Vet, but it was a Chevette, and I want you to notice the difference.
Chevette.
We call those we call those shit vets.
Right.
CHEV.
But remember when we would listen to the music, our cassettes, and they would make that noise, and we would panic
Quite different.
because we knew.
But I used to tell all the chicks I've got a Vet outside.
Is my mic working?
What's wrong?
Am I still here? Am
What?
I-
What's going on?
Am I invisible?
Yes.
Am I audible? That's,
Yes.
that's what my Indian coworkers all say.
Am I audible?
Am I audible?
Am I eligible?
Am I audible?
God, I
Instead
remember
of "Can you
driving
hear
that.
me?"
Right.
I thought that was hilarious. I had never heard them say, "Am I audible?" Anyway,
It was a great car. I missed that
all right,
little.
a Chevette. All right, what's special about? Oh, that's ugly.
It's just a itty bitty.
It looks like
Dude,
a
it was
little a Pinto,
It
basically.
was extremely functional.
Yeah. Well, there wasn't
And-
much to them.
It was they were very reliable cars. So, you know,
Really?
yeah.
Who makes it?
Chevy.
Chevrolet.
Oh, you said
Chevrolet.
Chevy.
Chevy.
Yeah.
Chevy
Okay.
Chevette.
Whatever. I was just that was an 80s thing I was exposed to.
I remember when I was in middle school, one of the things that was a fad was to have a big
What'd you say? Oh,
fad was to
Ooh.
have a big comb in the back pocket.
Oh yeah.
Mine was a huge orange rectangular. It was about 12 inches
did
long.
you have
And
long
and it
hair?
said terrific on it.
And it had that little handle, right? It had the
No,
curved
mine
handle.
was exactly a rectangle.
Oh, I remember that being a fad, and
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
you had to get the one with the handle. That's what stuck
Yeah.
out of the pocket.
Well, that could be, but mine was not like that. I wasn't able to get that.
So did you have long hair to comb?
Well, it's longer than it is now, and I feathered it right then,
Oh.
right? You part
Oh,
it down the
yeah.
middle and you'd feather it back.
For sure.
The style back then.
I had long I had long hair, not as long as our producer Austin, but it was past the shoulders. It got up there. I think around my senior
Wow.
year, I cut it.
Yeah, I never had. I tried to grow it long in college, but it was always
So funny.
probably to the collar. That's what it was acceptable back then, right?
I just remember being a freshman and like, you're in high school now and that's when you wanted to make sure your breath was good and you wanted to make sure that you were wearing deodorant and you wanted to make sure
You get the
maybe
Banaka spray.
you know what I mean? It's like you became obsessed with like making sure that
Does
you're
my BO? Does my armpits smell?
Right.
Got any mortifying experiences like during that time? Because you are trying to dress nice and wear deodorant and be presentable. I remember going to a birthday party
yeah.
and we had some little game called Spin the Bottle or something like that. And I remember sitting in a group and I had sat down and I had farted inadvertently. It was kind
And
of like,
that's when it started.
that's when it started. But I'm just like, I was we're all sitting in style in a circle. And I was kind of like, I moved, from left to right, kind of just jockeying for position. All of a sudden, a little fall out came out. And I was like, did you just fart?
You're just like, no, it was Paul.
Yeah.
And then, right?
I didn't know anybody.
Who's Paul?
I didn't know anybody. I was a military brat. So, I mean, I was like, I
And
didn't
from
know
that point
anybody
on,
in this
were you-
circle.
Were you farter?
No.
That was
the
your
girls lost.
nickname from that point on?
I was embarrassed, man.
I bet.
I was mortified
Did
at
it
that.
stink like the caustic gas you expunge now?
No.
So how'd you go from being mortified to super, super proud every time you fart?
Well, I mean, it's
What-
kind of
walk
symbiotic.
walk us through that journey in your
Well,
life.
see,
That you eat certain
my-
foods to
my
try to trap people
inner-
in cars.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat a bucket of beans.
And being in public places and giggling. I just farted. So walk us through how what happened to you?
The transformation.
Yeah.
You know what? Like I shared with you, at the time it was symbiotic. I didn't want to fart. I was really,
But you couldn't help it.
Well, I mean, you got gas that builds up, and you're sitting on the floor, and all of a sudden, comes out.
I hold it until I'm almost sick.
Well, I was almost sick. Speaking of sick, your
You know
dog
what I mean?
is going to die.
Yeah, when you hold your gas so long that
Give her
you
medicine.
almost make yourself sick.
Well, you have to do that
It's
at
like
work
your
sometimes.
stomach's hurting, your
Like
chest hurting.
If you're in meetings all day,
Yeah.
and you're just like, man, if I rip this now, it's going to be either so loud or it's going to be so pungent.
Right.
And you're in this enclosed conference room.
Right.
It's like, and then usually when you get up and say you have a bathroom break, it creeps back inside. And you're just like,
what is that all about?
What do you mean if you?
You have to go so bad, and then you're like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. But as soon as you go into the bathroom, it suddenly you
It
can't.
just subsides.
the fart goes
Why?
away.
It's like
How does that happen?
I don't know. I
Okay,
don't know
so
what
it's
it
not
does.
just me.
It's God's fucking with us. It's not just taking a dump; it's farting too.
So you stand
It's like,
there,
oh my god, I got fart so
It's
bad.
dumps and farts.
and then
You're
you're standing
right.
there just going fart, fart, fart. You just can't do it.
It's like
You're trying to push it out.
Yeah, you start punching your stomach. Get out, you son of a bitch! And then you walk back in, and all of a sudden it's like,
You
right back.
start
Right.
doing squats and
Yep.
lunges.
Here you are.
You do lunges in the bathroom. And you're right. As soon as you leave the bathroom, you're like, oh, shit, I can't do it. And then as soon as you leave and you get back into the room, it's like,
You
boom.
sit down. It's just like
There it is.
The pressure is back.
I don't get it.
That's when you get up and you do a Robert Tilton. You just kind of, and just kind of walk out.
Sometimes you're just like, I'm in so much pain. I don't care. I'm going to bury my ass into this cushion seat, and it's not going to make a sound.
Well, no,
You just
Did you
chance
guys
it.
understand the Robert?
Well, you
Tilton?
have to cough.
Yes.
You have to cough or make a noise when you fart so that it masks the sound.
Sometimes it's too loud.
Well,
Yeah.
I've tried that before, though. You know what I mean?
Paul, did you just fart?
Yeah. Well, we didn't have any people from New Jersey in our
Oh.
conference room.
Oh, Paul, did you just fart?
I'd be like, no. It was bad. That's so funny, though. That's so true.
I
that
think
as soon as you need to,
Yeah, it's just like you get up, you
creeps back
finally,
and
oh
it
my
goes
God,
away.
I made it without shitting my pants. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real fast. You get to the bathroom and you kind of like, all right, guys, it's
It's
open
go
season.
time. It's go time.
All right, let's go. It's party. Let's get
remember-
this thing rolling out.
I remember being in class in high school, and I'd be like really needed to fart, and I was clenching my butt, to make sure. And then I would smell something, and I would be like, "Shit, did it seep out?" I don't think I think I would feel it if it slipped out. And I was like, "Oh shit, it slipped out." But then I was thinking, it's slipping out because I smell something, and I'm looking around. Shit, they think it's me.
And you're going,
Yeah, and it was even worse. Somebody's like, my face is getting all red and shit. Anyway, but is that
Good
possible?
Lord.
That it slips out without you knowing it?
Well,
Is that
I
possible?
imagine a little
Was I
seepage
just
could
being
happen.
super crazy paranoid, or is that
Someone else
possible?
farted.
I mean, even a pressure cooker has a little release. You know, I mean, something's got to happen.
To where you literally don't know if it's you or not. Where it
I've
slipped
never
out.
experienced that.
Well, you know,
Yeah, I think it was me.
it probably was.
I think it was slipping out.
I think the person maybe
I don't
next
know.
to you had a little issue
Maybe it
too.
was that
and they're like,
girl.
I'm going to blame Paul.
See,
Look,
maybe
the
that's
girls
what it
can get
was.
away with it
He's
because
got
they
the-
never blame the girls.
He's
No,
got
they
the I
never
took a
do.
shit look on his face, or I've got to take a dump. Look at him. He's sweating over there.
It's so funny. God, the stuff we stressed about, or at least I stressed about in high school, man.
Well, it's uncomfortable. We
Yeah, I
didn't
mean, you're
understand
coming of
either.
age and you're like
You know, and you
unsure
really-
of yourself and you got pimples.
I don't know about you. I've got a process in the mornings. So, you know, imagine, you know, and part of the process is taking a dump. So and it's not necessarily in the mornings, and it doesn't have to be, it's just whenever that process for you. Evidently for you, Paul, you take like 3 dumps a day, right?
Yeah, I took 3 today.
That's,
It can't be normal.
well, I mean.
And they're all full size. I'm like, I didn't even eat that much. Where's this shit coming from? Literally.
You're just full of shit.
Yeah, I am full of shit.
Bullshit.
But I have a very healthy digestive system. I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
Well, that's
And
good.
damn, it's on like timer too.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, most people are. But I mean, as a child, though.
Why are we talking about
And
bowel
you're being
movements?
well. The point is, we're getting those in the 80s when we were going to school. You know, that timer was kind of offset a little bit because we weren't really sure.
I never
What-
really in school. I never really shit in school.
Oh, no.
their circadian rhythm. I never really had the urge, unless it was a diarrhea.
What's it called? A circadian rhythm.
Circadian rhythm,
Circadian. Huh,
and
interesting.
What are you talking
my
about?
body wouldn't shit in the. I never had the need to.
Circadian
Circadian rhythm.
circadian rhythm.
CIR.
Circadian.
Circadian. All right.
Uh,
Circadian
it's a
rhythm.
physical, mental, and behavioral changes that follow a 24-hour cycle.
Correct.
Oh, so it's not just bowel movements.
Well, there's
Yeah,
it's anything.
Your
Yeah,
sleep,
you know,
your
you
bowel movements.
respond to
When you
light,
pee.
dark.
Right. So your body's used to taking a shit in the morning, probably.
It is, yeah.
Right. Maybe one before bed or whatever. Right.
Right,
It's
yeah,
the
whatever
rhythm
it
of your
is.
body. And in school, I can't recall ever really taking a shit in school because I never really had to.
Well, I couldn't. Remember, I had that
Well,
phobia.
You had a phobia, but by mine, I was just.
I bet you there's a name for that. Phobia of shitting in public.
I guarantee there is. There's a phobia.
There's a phobia
name-
for everything.
Yeah.
It's called growing up.
Can you find the name of what afraid to shit in public or poop
poop in public.
poop in public phobia? I'm gonna be I'm gonna be amazed if this comes back with something.
I guarantee it does.
All right, phobia of defecating in public. All right, let's see here. Oh, there it was. You had it. It was coprophobia.
No, I don't think that's it.
Fear of feces or defecation phobia.
That's something different.
Well, no, hold
Coprophobia.
on. It's the act
No,
of
that's just a
Fear of
pooping.
shitting.
oh, that's being. Oh, okay. That's being
Yeah.
scared of your own shit.
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's because some people feel as if the poop in you is part of you, and you're like, oh, don't go
Oh, here we
away.
go. Is using the public restroom your worst nightmare? I guarantee that there's got to be some sort of phobia. Toilet phobia.
Now they're talking about like being afraid of getting infections. And
There's parusis.
You know, I don't have a problem. I'll go in there and do
Oh,
it.
that you
I
had
have
it.
a
No.
preference.
Go back to it.
I have a
you found it.
preference of being in my home, but if I have to take one and I'm in the, but what's
Okay.
weird is,
all right.
is
hold on. Hold
it's-
on.
it's
1
a-
second. Hold that thought. It is parcopresis, the fear of having a bowel movement in public. Parcopresis.
now, does that mean when you say public in a public bathroom? Or
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm not talking about like squatting on the corner in front of everybody. That would be everybody's worst nightmare. Anyway, there it is.
Parcopresis, that's retarded.
parcopresis. All right, what were you saying, Jeff? Go back to what you're saying. I knocked
I
you off
don't
the game there.
remember.
Well,
Oh,
he was
stop
saying he
it.
didn't
Yes,
have-
you do.
No, he was saying he didn't have a problem really going to the bathroom.
Oh,
public
yeah.
bathrooms.
Yeah, I don't have an issue because if I have to do it, I will. But what's weird is the body sometimes doesn't let you do it,
That's right.
No.
and you just like it's the sphincter won't release.
That's right.
I don't have that problem.
And I don't have, and I don't understand that why, because I'll be sitting there, I'm just like, come on, let's just get this fucking over with.
Right. Especially when I'm in a public restroom, I have that problem.
I need to
Yeah.
have
I know
a
I need to go, and I can't.
items in check ready to go that make me feel a little bit more comfortable. And I can basically go anywhere. That's why I like to carry my satchel around.
Like anywhere.
Well, I mean, in a bathroom, so to speak.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
talking about getting in the middle of a forest or something. I could, though. I mean, it's uncomfortable, though. I wouldn't.
I crapped in a ditch in my elk hunt.
I believe you.
Preston has done that.
Yeah, Pearson has done that too. But I prefer to have my little wet wipes. I think we talked about that. My little setup, when we go to the bathroom. I think we've talked about this for different
Your
occasions.
snacks and your
I think-
beverages.
We talked about, going to the bathroom in an office building. When was your... Why are we doing this?
We just
We
talked
need to
about
change
this.
subjects here.
We
gonna
really
go
do.
Back to okay. So
Maybe-
taking a dump in the 80s because we thought we were cool. In the high school, I'll tell you what, it was the worst taking a shit at school because not necessarily because you have to take a shit, because our high school didn't have shitter doors.
Yeah, my
What's up
dorm.
with that?
My dorm was like that. We
So
had no.
come
We had
on.
no stalls. They
We
were
had
just
stalls.
toilets against the wall.
Yeah, we had stalls, but they were like 3 feet tall. So you're sitting there, and your head was above everything.
Hi, Bob. How's it going?
Yeah,
Doing
and the
okay.
sinks were right across the way. So people would come in the morning, and you're sitting there on the toilet, and they're brushing their teeth. They turn around and just have a conversation with you.
Well,
Yeah,
I was like,
taking a
why is
shit.
there even a door at this point?
Purging the soul stroganoff here.
We-
I'll be on in a little bit.
That's exactly how my dorm was. We had 3 shower heads in this little tiny square with 3
Absolutely
guys.
ridiculous.
Yeah, if you can handle that. 3 guys taking a shower, 1 guy standing at a urinal, 3 guys on the toilets, 1 guy brushing his teeth, 1 guy's wiping.
Right.
And you walk in and you're like, what the
I'll tell
hell?
you, I'd like
Yeah.
to incorporate into
hell's
my life
happening
is,
here?
a bidet. Find out how that experience would is that
Steven
something that,
experienced that over in Greece, and he
Bidet?
really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
So it
I've
was
done.
nice.
I was in a lot of international hotels, and bidets weren't. I don't want to say they were common, but a couple of times there were bidets there, and we were
so
like,
is the bidet designed to use less toilet paper?
I think you still wipe, but then you get up and let it
well,
finish.
the idea is to have your bottom be as clean as possible, so it blasts water upward into your
into your
Oh.
junk.
into your anus.
So whenever you don't have wet wipes available, to be as you accused, as clean as possible. So instead
Right.
of just using toilet paper,
It
the bidet
it blasts off all the fecal matter, and then you
kind of
take the
indirect
toilet.
blast at Jeff.
Then you take the toilet paper and dry off your anus.
Yes.
This is really
boy.
really a great
This is
conversation.
not a dude's like us moment.
No, no,
Was
no.
that on the whiteboard?
I think a lot of people deal with the same, anxieties. Parcopresis.
Holy crap! I tell you, I had to. Man, we had the rain yesterday. I had to or today too. I had to drive all the way to fucking Louisiana and back. So
Today you did?
Right.
yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday. So I left. I wasn't able to do my job until I think they scheduled at 4 p.m., which was kind of lame, but it is what it is.
So you had
I had a late departure.
an inspection scheduled at 4. I got you.
Yeah, I drove. I picked up the car, and it was a nice Honda Pilot. It was one of the newer ones,
Right. Yeah.
and I'll tell you, the technologies they're kind of cool now. But I headed down there, Louisiana. I wish there was something cool I could pick up while I was in Shreveport, but there's just simply not. I was really.
It used to be Yingling.
It used to be Yingling because they didn't have it here in the Texas, but.
How about some Boudin?
Well, I don't think I'm ever going to eat. I don't think I'm ever getting boudin in my life again. I mean, because one trip I went down there, I brought back like 100 pounds of boudin, and nobody fucking wanted us. So
I
ate it.
I mean, I ate it when you had the party, but after that, I don't know what you did with the other 250 pounds.
Yeah.
I had no idea you were going to buy that much.
So that and then the other thing I bought was some sort of some chowder and some other stuff. And at the end of the day, I was like, this wasn't even worth it because they've got some place around here that sells that kind of stuff, like the chowder and what is the other stuff? The red beans and rice. There are some traditional Louisiana dishes.
Oh yeah.
Basically what I'm getting at, and it's like even now it's not even worth driving to Louisiana for that. Or while I'm there, it's like, well, what can I pick up there that's going to make the trip worthy?
Right.
Now if I gambled, that might be kind of fun. You know,
Right.
because then I can.
Because they got those riverboats
Yeah,
or
they-
whatever they are, right?
Well, they have the Shreveport. You don't need
Oh,
to be on a
Shreveport's got a
report.
full
Yeah, they've
casino
got a-
lineup. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
they
can
got
go down there and gamble all you want.
right.
But I'm just not into gambling. I'm not. I don't really see myself spending money. Period. When it comes to things like that,
It's not really. It's just losing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have, the attitude that you're, I'm going to set aside $100 and that's my ticket for having fun.
But
You know what I mean? And
That can
don't
go
expect
so
to,
fast.
don't expect to come back with it.
That could go so fast. $100.
Oh yeah, no, we went to Vegas and I set aside $600, and that was how much we gambled, and yeah, we didn't come back with any. But
to me, that's just not worth it. I would.
I'd rather
at
spend
all.
that $600
At
somewhere
all.
else at a really nice.
yeah, I
dinner.
get it, and we haven't gone back from the standpoint of. I mean, we've been back to Vegas, but we didn't go back for like a gambling trip. You know what I mean? That was the one time we did.
They're actually, I'm going to go back on what I said there. I wouldn't do slot machines. I could get up there and play some blackjack. I'm not looking forward to dropping $100, but I mean, I could set aside $100 and
It'll
play
get
at
really
a $5 blackjack table.
There's
Yeah.
not very many $5 blackjack tables anymore.
No, not really.
Well, I don't know.
They're 15.
All I
Yeah.
know is that when I was there, the last time I went there was $5
Maybe
blackjack tables.
Shreveport. Maybe Shreveport does.
Yeah,
but
the
up
smaller. I think the smaller gambling places.
Yeah,
probably
maybe
do.
Shreveport does, but out in Vegas, and unless you go to a really small casino, those
Off-
$5
off the
hands,
strip,
those
yeah.
$5 hands don't exist much anymore.
Well, I
No.
really
that I saw
enjoy.
anyway.
I really enjoy roulette and craps. I can spend as long as the money lets me
See,
do it. I can play
I
for
don't like
hours.
the style of craps that they do right now. I mean, it'd be different if you had actual dice that you sit there and throw. But a lot of these places, at least here, right
So
over the
electronic,
border,
you hit a button?
Oklahoma,
Well,
they've
that's
got that little digital thing like do 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 do.
well, that's because
get the
that's
fuck
because they
outta
passed
here.
they passed a law for Oklahoma for
But what? You can't have dice.
no. Yeah, they were trying to. So that's there's always a way around the law. I think the idea was they're going to craft the law such that you can only have card games. So they were trying to keep out the hardcore gambling, like roulette and craps. So what they do, they just figured out a way to play those same games using cards.
Right.
You know what I mean? To get around the law.
Well,
Right.
I don't trust that dice. I mean, it's a computer in there making those dice, and it's not as random as throwing dice. It's not. It seems like there's more control over it. The computer be like, yeah, we're going to have 1% winners today or something like that.
Oh yeah, no, I don't trust any. I mean, I remember
Even the
watching.
slots.
I remember watching a 2020 that had this, this computer programmer guy, and he was like, blacked out, like in the shadows, right? Because he didn't want to admit, who he was, and he was saying was a digitized voice,
Yeah.
and his job was to program, it was poker, electronic poker.
Right.
And it said that if it draws a royal straight flush or a royal flush, it will discard it and draw another card.
Really.
Like you can't get the biggest long shot that you can get in that game. With the big board that's got the
With
numbers.
$10 million.
Yeah, it's got the numbers going, but you have to get a royal flush,
Right.
and it will discard it. He said. I mean, it's so easy. You know how easy that is in
That's what I
programming.
mean. Yeah, it's just a computer. Yeah.
It's the easiest thing to program ever. Like,
I
and
mean,
so
even-
I don't trust any of that.
Even with cards and dice, and roulette, there's ways to cheat.
Right.
Right. You can count the cards.
Yes.
I
If you're
never
Rain
quite,
Man.
I never quite understood how people do that, but even dealing cards, these people are so fast with their hands, you can't tell that they're from the bottom of the deck or something like that.
Right.
Yeah,
And-
they really are. They're talented.
Yeah, and it's they work on it, and that's their skill. And then roulette, there's ways to cheat that as well.
Is it really?
Well, for the casino, right?
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Magnets.
Well, I do
Magnets,
know.
all kinds of
I
shit.
do know it's the single worst odds game is roulette.
Yeah.
Like it's in the totally in the house's favor. All of them are in the house's favor, but roulette is particularly in their
It has
favor.
the biggest payout though.
Does it? I mean, I've
1 in 36, right? So if you put that's what it is. There's 36 numbers on there, right?
and the single and double zero,
Yeah, so
so it's 38.
38 or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. So I mean, that game I have played for hours and hours and hours, and at the end, I
When it
lost
starts
everything.
getting down, you start playing all the lines. And
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna go red this time because 50-50 chance.
I'm usually playing stuff all over the place when I play. I
Yeah.
love it. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm out. I don't get
yeah,
into
you don't do the gamble thing. That's
No.
cool.
I'm out.
I don't do it very often. I really don't.
Yeah, it's good for I'm happy with those people that enjoy it. I just don't. And again, if there's like a $5 blackjack table, which evidently they're becoming more and more rare.
They are.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm not. I mean, I just
That's why I don't play the card games anymore. I'm like,
it's just not
because I'm
worth
not
it.
very good at it. I'm like, I don't want to lose $15
people
every
dropping in
2 minutes.
dollar tokens into the slot machine, and done. You just lost
Done.
$5.
Oh,
the fuck
you
outta
can
here.
you can lose money so fast
I mean,
on
it's
slots.
just nah. Forget
Well, the
about
slots, well, even the dollar one. Let's say you put $100 in there. They have all these lines. You could play like $20 a hand
Yep.
and be done in 5 times. Boom, boom, $100.
Yes. Well, because you're trying to maximize your chance of winning.
Well,
and
yeah.
You got these crazy lines going all over the place, like you were saying, and it's so damn confusing nowadays.
It
And
is.
so I'm sitting there looking at the board, going, "Okay." When I first sit down, I'm like, "Okay, what's the big win? Like, what am I looking for?"
Right.
And I couldn't figure it out. I was like, "Okay, well, there's 3 lines going this way. There's some weird vertical lines," and I was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna get them go to another one," because it was just like, it's like, why did that have to be so damn complicated?
Because they want you to lose. But
Right.
they're again. I mean, we're probably going to beat me up on the TikTok thing, but I was watching TikTok and where this guy gets these people to convinces them to spend $1,000 on these slots. He says, "Hey, look, spend $1,000, and if you don't make money, then I'll pay you $1,000 back."
Oh boy.
He gets them over there, and every time $1,000, and evidently there's a machine where you can drop $1,000 on a slot machine. And he knows all the rules, and he was just like, "Yeah, well, no, do hit this, hit that, hit this. No, pass, hit this, do that, and bam! Next thing you know, the guy won $5,000." And he's got video after video after video of doing that with a bunch. You'd think they would kick that guy out, but
Yeah, you would definitely think. I mean, they take that stuff really
Well,
seriously.
card counting, yeah, that's, and they know how to.
But this is for slots.
Well, I don't know how he does that.
Yeah, well, I mean, he just knows the rules. That's what I'm saying. It's so confusing. But I bet if you know all the rules of the little squigglies up there, what was the word? It's called obfuscation. It's where they make things so difficult to know that you would really have to be a master at the machine to do it. I mean,
Right.
there's our producers got some seasonably or some cool things up on the screen right now. showing
Yeah,
us
it's
the
kind of hard
roulette
not to get enamored with it. They're showing some guys at a roulette table,
Look at
and
that moment.
Oh.
and
You know what when I see that, you know what I'm thinking? That place really stinks like smokes.
Oh yeah.
that's the problem. Like
Yeah.
I asked Shelly because my son and his friends all went up to Choctaw, and I was like, "Do you ever want to go up to Choctaw?" And she's like, she's not really into gambling at all. Like she's done slots, but it's the smoke. She can't do it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, where are they ever going to on the planet find a smokeless casino? That does not exist. Well, I'm sure it does.
I remember
but-
the worst one that I saw was I remember I flew into Reno for work,
Yeah.
and I went down to the casino because I stayed in one of the hotels there at the casino for work. And I went downstairs to the casino, and I remember seeing. And Reno is not like Vegas.
Right.
It's an older casino town. It's smaller. It's I don't know what you want to call it, but it's more white trashy maybe. At least it was back then.
Right.
And I just remember sitting there, and I see this lady, and you probably see them all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
She has emphysema. She's
Got a bottle.
got her oxygen bottle,
Yep.
cigarette in her mouth,
Yeah. Yeah.
doing slots,
Right.
and a whiskey.
Oh, there's
a
a
bottle
lot.
of oxygen next to her.
And a bottle of oxygen went next to her.
Yep.
She's like hacking a lung out. And she's
There's
like,
tons of people. That's what they do for a living, and
she's
they
probably using her disability check or
well,
something.
you'd be surprised. I mean, a lot of these people, that's their career. Their job is gambling, and they make about $65,000 a year gambling.
No, I can't.
That's what they do all day long. They just
Yeah.
sit there plunking into slot machines, making $65,000 a year.
So, anyways, I ended up renting the car, driving out to Shreveport, and driving back. In both ways, it was just nonstop storming. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, thank God for the cool effects and features on the car. I mean, with the sensors in the front, where it detects cars in front of you and staying in the lane.
Oh, great.
I
So
mean,
you just like slept?
look. Don't throw stones here.
Had Netflix going.
Well, I did have Netflix going, but that's besides the point. But the thing is, in fact, I was watching Echoes. It's rather interesting. Have you guys seen Echoes?
I've seen the previews for it. I haven't watched it yet.
No.
It's again, man. Some of these miniseries they're rather difficult to get into. I mean,
I'm watching Sandman now.
We
Sandman
quit
was
that.
another one. Yeah,
I'm in episode 8.
We
and it's
dumped it
it's
after
completely
a
shifted gears. And I'm just like,
completely.
and it's not. I don't much
It's
care for the second half.
yeah. So I mean, again, you got to finish it. But this,
I'm amazed you got that far. We watched.
Got to finish it.
We
though.
watched 1.5 episodes and we were like done.
Was the one that you almost turned off the one in the diner where they all killed each other?
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, that just turned.
Yeah, it got really, really dark. I mean, there was this blood and all this shit, and I was just like, dude.
Yeah.
I almost stopped right there. I was like, no, just keep going. Just keep
It was
going.
an interesting show until it got to that point. I was just like, no one could lie anymore. The guy had this power, and no one could lie. So people were telling what they actually thought, and they acted what they really wanted to do.
Right.
And it didn't end well.
Yeah.
At
No.
all. And
Yeah.
and everyone had a perspective, and they, but it was so there were 15 people in the diner, and then all 15 had very unsavory endings for everybody. Now,
Oh.
people are truly
Yeah.
evil in nature is essentially what what the guy was suggesting.
It was
But the Echoes
weird.
is essentially it's about these twins, and something happens to them, which I can't share because you won't know until you get to
Yeah,
season
if we're gonna try to watch it, don't
until
tell
you
us.
get to
You know,
episode
spoiler
5.
alert. There's twins.
Well, duh.
Yeah,
I mean,
no
that's what
point
it's about.
watching
It's
it
called,
now.
it's called Echoes. Okay, it's the twins. So
It
it's
could be like in a Grand Canyon or something, like echoes coming back in.
Yeah, that's what I
Dude.
thought it was.
Yeah.
Jackwagon. So in episode 5, you finally learn because it's so kind of what the fuck until you get to episode 5, and then they start explaining the show. Oh, this is what's going on, and then you start filling in the blanks, and then until it gets to the very end, and then even at that point, you're kind of like, ugh.
I'll tell you one of the shows that really intrigued me was Dark.
That was a great show.
And it
What
was
is
hard
Dark?
hard to follow, but it was
I don't know
very
what dark is.
But they helped you. They would
Yes.
show pictures of like the
Oh, you-
older, younger.
You have to take notes almost.
It was a great show.
I'd
Is it
recommend
Watch
it.
Dark.
No, it's called Dark. It's a German. I think it's German.
It is German.
And I couldn't do the subtitles because I couldn't read and pay attention at the same time.
Right.
Because there's so much that you have to pay attention to. So I had to dub it. And
So this is back in 2017.
I would love to watch it again. It was that good.
yeah, it's good.
Really?
Yeah. It's you really have to pay attention. It's
So
time
it's
travel.
a German science fiction thriller television series co-created by Baran Bo Odar and
Yeah, here it is. He's got the preview up. Yeah.
ran for 3 seasons. The story follows characters from the fictional village of Winden, Germany, as they pursue the truth in the aftermath of a child's disappearance.
Oh, it's so good.
So
I
I
would
don't-
love that show.
I must have seen this. Come on.
Oh, you would know. You would definitely know.
Sony
Oh, Walkman.
Yeah.
They just showed
But
Walkman.
what I found that interesting is they go back in time to the 80s and you recognize a lot of the fashion and
Oh yeah, I love it
shit.
when they do that, and
Yeah.
then they pull out the clothes. You know, that's one thing that's amazing to me. All these period piece movies, right? Whether it be 70s, 60s,
Right.
even late or early 1900s, how they have all the stuff for it.
Right. Like I said,
They got the cars. They got
we just finished Downton Abbey.
yeah.
And well, it's interesting there because their clothing and their technology changed throughout the show.
Right.
Like they introduced the
Oh, yeah, a telephone.
The telephone.
That's right.
They introduced the car,
Yes.
and then the car progressed. First, it was the hardcore with a steering with a stick type of thing, and then
Right.
they ended up with a nice roadster, right?
right.
So I in the toaster would show up, and the technology would show up, but it's funny to think back then, going, wow, there's not even phones, and they were.
Right.
Some people frowned upon them. They were like, this is the end of civilization,
Right.
right? The phone.
Right. I
Right.
mean, imagine living in a world where you needed somebody had to show up with a letter.
Well, that's always communicating. He was always writing letters. They're always
I
writing
know.
letters.
Crazy. Well,
Yeah.
they had telegraph before telephone, right?
Right.
Where you could do like tick, 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 Morse code, right?
Is Dark where they had some sort of little tiny clock that?
Yes.
Yeah, there was not a tiny one. I
Like-
think it was a box or something.
Well,
like that.
yeah, they had that, and then they had the handheld like ball or some sort of.
Yeah.
It was really good though.
Uh,
Anyway, so you're watching that now, or did you already finish?
We just finished
Downton
it,
Abbey?
and we finished the 2 movies as well.
So good.
Yeah, it
We
was
love
well done.
that show. Yeah, really well done.
I held out. I was like, I have no desire to watch it. No desire to watch that. And my wife and I was like, what do we want to watch? Do you want to try Downton Abbey? It's on Amazon Prime now, so we watched it. And we enjoyed it.
Yep. Me too.
So
Yeah, I was like, really? I'm going to watch an old English soap opera?
I stopped
It was well
watching
done.
it.
It was really well done.
I need to watch. I need to finish up watching.
yeah, finish
it
it up. There's only
I got kind of
6 or 7 episodes.
I got burnt out when 7 episodes or seasons.
Seasons. I'm
Oh.
sorry. Yeah.
I got burnt out right after Homeboy with the Limp's wife got raped, and probably a couple episodes after that, I was kind of like, I'm just gonna take a break because it frustrated
I
me.
got frustrated with several of the characters, and I was just
Yeah.
like, God, these people annoy the shit out of me.
Oh, yeah.
And I kept arguing. I'm not arguing, but this comment, I was like, what do these people do with their lives?
Right.
Especially at the beginning. Near the end, they started getting jobs and stuff like that. Some of the people did. But I'm
No,
like, what
that
do these
was-
people do?
They worked for the mansion.
They didn't do anything. No, like the daughters. They didn't do anything except shop and
Oh, you mean the aristocrats?
the aristocrats. They didn't do shit.
They were looked down on if they worked.
That's what I was just like. They
Yeah,
didn't do
if you
anything.
worked, you were like a working class.
That's
Right.
like one of the daughters.
That's why they call it
wanted
working
to get into
class.
the investing side of the business, where
Well, that was the progression of the show, I think, and the attitudes of the people.
It was changing.
It changed, and they had to change with the times.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I find that interesting.
I mean, hundreds of years of aristocracy. That's
I
exactly
couldn't-
what that was.
I couldn't live like that. They did nothing all day.
Well, I mean, no, they rode horses and they
Well, hold on, Jeff. I like
I
where
think
this
you
is going.
get bored.
and you shoot guns. I mean, they would go
yeah.
hunting.
Dude, they lived the God blessing life.
Yeah,
No,
they
they all
did.
got
they
bored.
they got meals made
Wow.
for them. They went out and they hunted.
They all got bored.
They traveled.
Guys,
That was the
it's
problem.
no different than super rich families now. Think about it. Like, think about some trust fund
Well, that's
kid.
true.
They went to college.
Yeah,
They were educated, and they could.
no, who did? No, they didn't go to college.
The
they didn't.
aristocrats.
Well, these ladies didn't. I don't think.
Well, I
If
think
they did. They didn't
yeah, I don't
mention
think
it.
women went to college back then. It was looked down upon to even get an education. An education would be to go get a job.
Well,
I guess.
the women were,
I don't know. That's
were,
good
It was
question.
finishing school.
were they used
Yeah.
as like token ships, like the Indians used to give their daughters away? I mean, because it's kind of what
Well, it was. It was.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. You
There was
need-
some of that,
Yeah, there
um,
was some of that. You need to
you
marry
promise
up.
stuff.
You
Yeah.
can't marry down. That was part of the struggle.
and you're
with some of it.
merging two really prominent families, and
And you need to
you know.
produce an heir.
Correct.
Yeah,
Pretty
that was a
much.
big deal.
Correct.
Yeah, that was a huge deal. Like one of them, they were going to lose the mansion because they didn't have an heir.
Right.
I mean, it's always handed down. It's always given to you. Your life's handed to you on a
Right.
silver platter. Right?
Yeah, but these period pieces, some are done very well. I think I've mentioned this one before. Is the Deuce, very 70s.
I don't think I've seen that.
It's
The Deuce.
It's good. It's about
Deuce.
the mid 70s.
Okay.
I think it's the 42nd Avenue. They call it the Deuce. I think in New York, where all the prostitution and the porn industry.
Go on.
And the porn about pimps, hookers, in the porn industry, in the cops.
Really?
And it's really well done. I mean, they capture the feeling, whole 9 yards. The look,
Is there any nudity?
lots.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, there's lots of nudity.
The Deuce.
Yeah, it's good.
Is it on
Yeah.
like Netflix or Prime
It
or
was
anything?
on
Or
it was
Amazon?
on HBO. Like she was a hooker, and she started making porn movies,
Oh wow.
and they show behind the scenes. They don't really there are scenes you see them making it, but you're kind of back and you see them and they're filming it and they're trying to figure out all this stuff, right? And they're shooting like white gravy through a basting tube for the final shot.
What was that other one that was like a
They did.
really really popular porn based about making porn. It wasn't a porn movie, but what
The
was
movie?
it? Yes.
There was a movie with Marky Mark in it.
Yes.
Dude,
Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights. That was a good movie
He had the
too.
big old schlong there at the end.
Oh yeah.
Loosely based on John Holmes.
Yeah, I didn't really need to see that part, but
God.
yeah, I forgot about that. Boogie Nights.
Yeah, Deuce. I recommend it. It's good. There's gangsters, as you can see. There's gangsters. There's cops, hookers, strippers, porn. What else do you need?
Yeah, everything you want in a movie.
A nice
Pimps.
bourbon.
Did they have
Yeah.
bourbon?
They had whiskeys. We didn't really
Whiskeys.
talk about it, but yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna see if I can remember that. The dude.
So, anyways, so I was coming back from Louisiana, and it was storming big time. I mean, all the way there and all the way back. And I guess it's like downtown Dallas was
like 15 inches of rain.
15 inches. Our systems could not handle it, and
No,
there
flooding, bad flooding,
It was bad flooding.
and
There was
and Fort Worth too. It wasn't
have you
just
seen
Dallas.
some of the videos of
I haven't
these?
seen anything.
I
There's
haven't.
some videos out there where their cars were like fucked up.
Submerged. Yeah.
I mean,
Well, they said that at DFW Airport, it rained 3 inches in 1 hour, and it was the most rain the airport has gotten since 1953.
Wow.
And I was thinking to myself, was DFW Airport around in 1953, or they just mean like the Dallas-Fort Worth area?
I don't know. No, I don't think it was in 53.
No, there's no way it was around in 1953. It was
No.
Dallas Love Field first,
Yeah.
and then they built DFW.
Yeah, we didn't get that. We got some good steady rain up here.
We
didn't get
did.
no
Oh,
near
we got
50
plenty of rain.
We didn't get any 15 inches.
No, but we got
we
plenty.
don't want that. That causes
No.
problems.
Exactly.
It causes lots of problems.
oh yeah, there's a flood of there's a flood of insurance claims that are coming through right now.
Yeah, I guess you're going to
just
go on
the-
cat duty from home.
Well, now the volume. Well, I mean, whatever. But the
Just
volume.
like, I need a hotel room, please.
Yeah, the volume of water that came through was just ridiculous. 15 inches is extremely hard for this region to manage.
Well, especially after 60
Anywhere,
days
honestly,
of no rain.
anywhere.
And,
Yeah.
and the ground is so hard and dry. If it comes down hard, it's just going to run straight off.
That's right. It
It
doesn't
doesn't
absorb.
soak in.
Yeah.
Oh.
I remember, so you guys remember Shelley's brother used to work down on Northwest Highway, right? And he drove on one of those roads that you just don't drive on when it's a ton of rain.
Right.
And, and you don't drive into flooded areas, right? Well, he got stranded. And I had to
Nice.
go down there, and we had to wade to his car and to get stuff out of his car. Like basically the stuff you were talking about seeing on TV, that
How
was
deep
him.
was it?
It was probably
Was it moving water? Was it just standing?
it was just kind of standing stagnant water. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, and it
You
was
didn't get an inflatable?
no, we just waded out there. I mean, it was to our waist.
Do you like a backstroke?
No, I mean, I didn't want to really get more into the water
Did you
than I
do-
needed
Was the
to.
stuff he
Did the
retrieved from the car wet?
I guess it was just below that. So it must have been at the top of the wheels, maybe.
All right, well.
Butterfly stroke is what you used to get out there.
I did. I was always a very strong breaststroker and butterfly. Those were my really good.
Well, I remember one time when I was coming back from when I had to go to the office. It was down there at Forest and 635 was where my building was.
You were doing freestyle.
Yes, I freestyled all the way home.
Nice.
But there was a lot of rain, and I've driven home in a lot of rain before, and I've never had any kind of flooding problems. Well, I'm driving home. I'm going up Hillcrest, and there's a section, and I was at the stoplight. And it didn't look deep. It just looked like there was a little bit of water there.
Yep.
But these side streets, it looked like a freaking white rapids were coming down. Just all this water.
Yep.
And I hit it, and it was about 100 yards or so past the stoplight. So I was going 35 again, 40 miles an
You
hour,
went right into
and
it.
I hit this, and it went midway to my grill, and it snapped my fan inside the motor.
Oh wow!
It snapped the blade off. I didn't know that at the time, and I hit it. I went bam, and it just stopped. And
The car just screeched to a halt.
screeched to a halt, and it shut off. And I was like, "Fuck!" And I was
That would be the appropriate response.
right, and it was raining, and so I started it again, started it up, and it was making a horrible racket
And you're like,
because I was missing a blade. I was like,
followed
"What
with
the
another?
hell?"
Was that followed with another fuck?
It was. I was like, how am I going to be able to get home?
No,
And then I did.
really.
So I backed up and was able to make a U-turn. And if I got up to a certain speed, whenever the fan kicked in or whatever,
Oh yeah,
was
going ape shit crazy.
it was-
It's all
because it was-
unbalanced
yeah.
and
making a racket. And I was just like, I just need to make it home. Just need to make it home. Just make it home. And it ran like shit. Whenever it was do that, the whole car would just shake and vibrate. I'm like, something's fucked up, really bad. But again, it was one of those things where
that's how
it didn't look deep.
That's
but
how people die in flash floods, man.
But when I hit it, it was probably 2.5, 3 feet deep.
Right.
Because, like I said, I hit it and
boom.
It the grill, it was midway up my grill, and it all came over my car.
The power of water is absolutely astounding.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, like, people will drive into that, and then they'll get stuck like that, and then they'll get swept off the road.
Right. Well, there's no place for me to go.
Well, I know, but you know what I mean. That's like flash floods, right? I mean, that's exactly what happens. Somebody tries to drive through that. They exactly experience what you just experienced, except there was a moving current.
Right.
And then the car starts moving, and it gets swept into the river. And
yeah. Anyway, it threw me off because of the way it looked. It didn't look deep. It looked just like it was a regular puddle, right? But, man, it was deep, and it stopped on a dime.
Damn.
And this water just came all the way over the top, the whole 9 yards. So,
oh, what a nightmare.
Yeah, it was bad.
All right, well, this is, we're reaching the end of our first edition here. And it is, we didn't even say what it is. Is it the 22nd of August?
It's the August 23rd. It's my dad's birthday.
23rd, all right. August 23rd, and we have, let's see.
We got one more week left.
Is this the last one of, no, this is, so we got one more.
We got one more.
One more in August.
One more in August.
It's the 30th.
And then Labor Day.
Labor Day. That's when the fast ends. The alcohol fast.
Well, what'd you have to drink tonight?
You could dive in head first.
This was tea, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was tea.
We were drinking some sort of...
it's very sweet. Weller's 107.
107
God bless.
tea.
What a fantastic.
Very good.
I haven't finished mine. I'm about to swallow the last bit of it.
Yeah, because we got to start on the next one. Angel's Envy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
This is a barrel 1555, if I recall correctly.
Something like that, yeah. We'll have to investigate.
It's supposed to be the good one.
Well, I'm glad we got to talk about our bowel movements tonight.
Again.
Good God. We're all over the place with shit.
Like we usually are. I'm Paul.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Jeff.
And our producer, Mr. Austin.